So now we're recording, and I can formally welcome you all onto the Diploma of Credit Management. And just to explain to everybody how this thing works, we have two terms, well, or sometimes three, but two main terms. One, it starts in February and runs through to May, and then the second term is in September and runs through to January. So half the people here today are on their first term and the other half are on their second term. So it's kind of a revolving course. So say some are going into their last two subjects and some of you are just starting off for the very first time. So for those of you starting off for the very first time, you're very welcome. I'm sure you woke up this morning and thought to yourself, am I mad? Is life not busy enough and hectic enough between families and work and a bit of social life and all the rest? I'm now taking on a diploma at the same time at this hour of my life. Um, anyway, no, I can assure you, you have made the right decision. This will stand to you for the rest of your career. There's no doubt about it. And having a line on your CV that says, a diploma in credit management. I think what it will do more than anything else, it will set you apart from all the other credit controllers out there. And I think what you're doing is making a clear statement that you see a future in credit management, you see a career in credit management, and the fact that you have a qualification or you're on your way to getting a qualification means that you do take it seriously. You see, to me, there's a couple of different types of credit controllers. Um, First of all, in terms of introduction to credit control, everybody comes into it the same way. Everybody just falls into it by accident. That's just so if you fell into credit control by accident, that's exactly how it did. And somehow you were sitting in an office one day and somebody threw a ledger on your desk and said, look, will you ring them and see if you can get a few bob out of them? And that's how everybody's career ends up in credit control. I've never met a 5-year-old yet that when I asked them what they want to be when you grow up, they said, I want to be a credit controller. In fact, I don't think I've ever even asked anybody in college. And maybe I could have asked each of you at any stage of your career or your when you were growing up, and nobody ever starts out life wanting to be a credit controller. So that's one of the universals that we all have in common. Now, what happens when people get into credit control is very amusing because what happens is some people absolutely hate it. Just the whole conflict, the whole just even asking people for money is such an awkward topic that they run a mile from it. And and that's fine, and for some people it's just a job, it pays the bills, and sure, why not? We have to get beer money somewhere. Um, and then I think there's you guys. And there are people who have got into credit control and who like credit control and think, yeah, this is okay. And, I suppose part of what I want to do today is validate each and every one of you. If you do like credit control, there is nothing wrong with you. Okay. Because to me and myself, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Declan Flood. And I am a sad lifelong credit professional. So I started working in a credit control office many, many years ago. My profile says I have over 20 years experience, and that's never going to change because it's factually correct, even though it's probably not accurate. But anyway, so it's many, many years. And I have just loved credit control. I have loved working in credit. I have loved every day of it. And what I find is, and particularly when I go to conferences and international conferences and get time to spend with other credit people, there is a passion about credit out there that's absent in most other careers. So I know it can be lonely. You can be sitting in your office on your own. You can be fighting with people all day long, and you wonder, God, what's wrong with me? Am I the only person in the world? And then as the problems mount up on your desk as they do, you just wonder, are you alone? And I suppose just even being in a room like this today, knowing you are not alone and going through some of the problems that you're experiencing and know, oh, right, everybody else is having the same problems. There isn't a sales guy out there who can get a price right on an invoice, if their lives depended on it, or a warehouse that can deliver an order in full on time correctly. So that's where it can be lonely. And I suppose part of what we want to do is give you the benefit of the experience that we have within the credit world, to help you on your career. That's really what it's all about. So what you're going to gain from having a diploma, yes, you will have the your diploma, you will have your qualifications. I'll go through the different organizations that recognizes the diploma later on. Um, Hopefully you will learn something from the material that will be practical and useful. So as well as being academic, it's also going to be practical, useful, and particularly the collections module that you're coming on to now. I am hoping that will provide you with things that you can do on a daily basis. That's really what it's all about. So it's not just an academic course where you're coming to learn, or some guy who got an idea decided to write a book. Anything that we share with you in the course is something that we have lived, we have tried out, and we know works. So that is that. And then, of course, what makes life interesting is everybody is so different, and your customers are different, and the industries are different, and you're different. So rather than giving people scripts, we give them parameters, in terms to operate within, that you can introduce your own style and your own way of doing things. So that's really how the whole thing works. So as part of the introduction, what I want to do today is just to take the mystery out of it, and help you to know just what to expect, and what's going to happen this term. Just bear with me now while I get. I'll share my screen with you. So there we go. Share. Yeah. So hopefully you can see the Irish Credit Management Training logo and the diploma course today. Now, just you can relax. You don't have to take notes or do anything of that nature, because I will send this presentation out to you later this afternoon. So I will send you a copy of the presentation, and I will send you a link to the recordings of the sessions as well. So you will get all of that. So in terms of taking notes, what I just want you to do is just to observe and just get an understanding of how the course works and what is involved with the course. So in terms of the timings, I sent it out on the email. So the initial introduction by myself is going to be about half an hour. And this is where I just go through how the course works, the dates, the times, and all that kind of good stuff. And just to make sure that you're comfortable, that you know how everything is going to work. And then we're ready to go. What we will do is then, Katrina will be joining us later. Katrina is the tutor on the collections course, so she'll be joining us in advance of 10:30, and she will go in depth into the collections module, just to give you a heads up in terms of the areas that we're covering, so you know what to expect at an overview detail of the collections module. And then at 11:30, we'll take a break for a cup of tea or a cup of coffee, or nicotine or whatever other drug you need to keep yourself going. And you've only 15 minutes, so let's take a break. Then we come back at 11:45. Now, just in case, and this sometimes causes confusion. So in the last term, the two subjects that we covered was credit management and risk, and that was it. And all the students were doing credit management and risk. What we did a few years ago, was the fourth subject originally was law. And we found that it wasn't relevant to everybody. Some people who worked in a multinational environment, um, Irish law wasn't really of interest to them. Although having said that, I think, and even if you say, well, look, I'm not originally Irish, so why would I want to learn Irish law? Um, the reason I would give you, quite simply, is that if you are living in Ireland, understanding the law is a great thing to do. And I think laws kind of define a nation. That's how we preserve our identity by the laws that we follow. So what we have done in recent times is we have given students a choice. So collections is core, you have to do collections, that's fine. And then for the next subject, you can either do international credit management or you can do what we call introduction to Irish law. So if you have made up your mind already, look, I'm definitely doing law, I am definitely doing international, that is fine. So if you are definitely doing law, then what you can do is we can take a break at 11:30. Yeah, come back at 11:45 and then you're finished at 12:15. Okay, so that's that. So sorry, if you're doing if you want to do law, sorry, you have a break from 11:30 until a quarter past. Sorry, there's somebody coming in there. There we go. Who's that? Oh, it's Katrina. Now I've stopped sharing, haven't I? Yeah. Now I'm back again. Oh, hold on. See, this is one of my problems here. Let me see if I can do this. Multitasking is not one of my greatest feats. Um, what is going on here? I can't see. It, let's just go to it's Katrina there.
Here.
Ah, you are there. Sorry, I didn't see you. And what happens is when somebody has joined the meeting room, it goes behind the share, behind the share icon. So I couldn't see who was coming in, and then when I tried to let you in, I stopped sharing. Anyway, we're back sharing now again. So just that you're clear. So if you want to do Irish law, you will finish at a quarter past. If you want to do Irish law, you get a longer break. If you want to do international credit management, you finish at 12:15. And if you don't know, and one of the things you'll learn on this course is it's okay not to know. If you want to stay for the induction, listen to what's involved in both subjects and then make your decision afterwards. That is fine too. So, we're not going to force you into anything. So if you want to stay and hear what's involved in international credit management, hear what's involved in Irish law, and then you can make a decision after that. And in fact, you have another week before you have to finally decide which of the two subjects you're doing. So that is that. And then at the end, we'll have some questions and answers. And look, we're happy to answer any questions throughout the day as well. So if you want to know, we have a chat box there as well, so you can put your questions in there, or just stop and we'll talk to you because we are reasonable people. So that's that. And depending on how many questions and answers, the session will end sometime between 12:45 and 1 o'clock. So that's the kind of timings for today that you know what's going to happen today. What is going to happen on the course? So once we get through today and you know what to expect, what will happen is on Monday, Katharina will send you your first set of notes in collections. So each of the subjects is divided into four modules. So we have a subject and it's divided into four modules. And I know they say not to put lots of words on a slide, and now I'm going to break that. Sorry, there's pictures of your tutors. So that's Katrina and Paul Daly. He is looking after both international credit management and introduction to Irish law. And then, believe it or not, Paul's qualification is in law, so he is a qualified to do that. So any questions that you have about collections, you will direct them to Katrina. Any questions you have about either international credit or Irish law, you will direct them to Paul. So that is that. Um, I am there in the background in terms of, and I'm always there in the background. And I suppose, in fairness to Katrina and Paul, tutoring is only I suppose a part-time endeavor for them, just to make you aware. So while yes, they will send you out the notes, yes, they will respond to all your queries, yes, they will be going through your tests and assignments and all that kind of stuff. They may not be available 24/7. So if you send an email, you may or may not get an instant reply. If you do want an instant reply, this is my day job. That's the whole thing about it. So do feel free to give me a shout anytime. So if it's specifically in relation to the subject, the tutors are the experts there. If it's anything to do with anything else, please feel free to reach out to me at any time. And the one thing that I'll say to you as well, that the fact that you are on this course means that you have a resource in me for whatever purpose you need. Is that okay? So I want you to feel you can reach out, and whether it's course related or not, as long as it's credit related, I don't do relationship counseling or financial planning or anything like that for you, or life planning. I will sort out anything that's credit related. So if in the course of your work something comes up and you haven't a clue and you think as a credit controller maybe I should know about this, take the job on board, then please reach out to me and say, Dec, I just got this letter of a notice of a creditors meeting and I don't know what to do with it. And then I will tell you what to do with it and show you what to do. Is that okay? So, please, I want you to feel that support. And that support is there right throughout the academic year and beyond. I'm in touch with past students on a regular basis. And it's just something I told you at the start I was a sad credit person. So I love challenges. I love queries and problems and all that kind of good stuff. So please do reach out to me. So that is that. Now, here's all the words on the slide. So again, you don't have to take these in. What you do have to know is that this is how the course works. So it's going to work in a weekly cycle. So on Monday, Katrina will send you out your first batch of collection notes. So the collection notes will arrive and there'll be two files in the attachment on the email. And the first file is the notes that you have to read and understand. And then the second file is what we call a short test. So there will be a short test, which is 10 questions based on the material that you have read. Is that okay? So you get your notes, you get your short test, you read through the notes and understand them, then you go and answer the 10 questions on the short tests, and you have 1 week to submit your answers for the short test. So if you get your collections short test on the 17th, which is next Monday, then you will return it to Katrina on or before the following Monday, which is the 24th. So from a flexibility perspective, you can block off time anytime over the week. So you don't have to be at a lecture on a Thursday or a Saturday or anything of that nature. You will get the notes, you will read them in your own time, and you will submit your short tests within 1 week. So what I would advise is, just to make the thing work, please do block off some amount of time during the week. And you might decide, look, Tuesday from 8 to 10 or something, there's nothing happening in my life and the telly is awful anyway. So, between 8 and 10 on a Tuesday, I'm going to, go through the notes, or I might do them on a Monday when I get them, or whatever the case may be. So see if you can get some structure into your week. And by all means, now people say, how long does it take? And the answer is very simply, I don't know, because I don't know how long it takes you to read a page. So how could I know how long it's going to take? I would imagine it's somewhere. I would imagine somewhere between 2 and 3 hours. That's a ballpark figure. Now, some people spend a lot more time on it, and some people might spend a bit less. I would say 2 to 3 hours is kind of what you'd want to be aiming for over the week. And again, if you do it on a Monday or a Saturday, it doesn't matter as long as you submit your short test by the following Monday. So that's how the course works all the way through. So that is that. And obviously, your tutor is there to answer any questions. And what will happen is with the short test, so once you submit the short test to Katrina, she will then send you back your marks. So, and how your marks will work, and this is not us being lazy. How the marks will work is if you get 8 out of 10 in your first test, Katrina will tell you you scored 8 out of 10 in the test. Go back and have a look at question 4 and question 6 again, or whatever two you got wrong. Is that okay? So what we want you to do is go back because the answer is in the notes. And if you have misunderstood it, so if we just give you the answer, you go, ah, yeah, I should have known that. And then you move on, you will not learn. Whereas when we say go back and look at question 2 and 4 again, you will go back, you will find, say, ah, there it is. Yeah, what was I thinking? I know it's stupid. And you will remember that forever because we remember more from making mistakes than we do from getting it right the first time. So just be aware of that. And so we'll point you in the right direction. And if you're stuck and if you say, look, I haven't a clue, I don't know where this is coming from, then by all means reach out to Katrina and say, Katrina, what's this? Or I don't understand that, or can you explain that to me? And she's quite happy to do that. And I'm picking Katrina because she's here. Paul will be here later. The same applies to him. Is that okay? So each week we go through. So one week you get your collections notes, then the next week you get either law or international notes. The next week then you get your collections. So it's alternating all the way along. And you can see all the dates are Monday, except when there's a bank holiday and we move it to Tuesday. So we give you the extra day on Tuesday. So that is how it works. And then it's fairly full on for between now and the middle of April. Then we take a break, so there'll be no notes or anything on the 21st for that week, the Easter week. So you can take a break and then we come back and finish off the course. So you get your notes, you do your short test, you send it back, then you get your next notes, you do the short test, you send it back. That's how it alternates. You will also see that in addition to the notes, and there's a short test with every set of notes, and they count for marks as well in the overall. So you do get marks. I'll go through the marks later on with you. So you get marks for your short tests as well. Then within each subject, you'll see there's an assignment. In fact, there's 2 assignments for each subject. So once you've got your module 1 and 2 and you've gone through that, then you will get an assignment. And an assignment is a kind of a practical, real world work where you get to apply the learning to the work. And certainly I know from collections, this is really practical, hands-on, and I suppose gives us an opportunity to help you with the day job as well, identifying areas that cause problems and all that kind of good stuff. So, the assignments will take a bit of time, and as a result of that, we give you 2 weeks. So from the time you get your assignment, your collection assignment 1 on the 10th of March, you have 2 weeks to return your assignment. So, within the 3 hours plus, built in time for your short tests, your notes, and your assignments. But you will notice, apart from law at the end, you will the weeks you get your assignments, you won't get any notes that week. So it frees you up to look at the assignment. So that is that. Now, the other thing I want to put your mind at rest on, oh my God, I have holidays booked in the end of March and I'm away for the week. That's fine. So all you do is you just contact the tutor and say, Katrina, Paul, I'm away, I'm going away for Paddy's week and I'm gone for the week. And I suppose well, probably the easiest option is, if you're a week late with your short tests. So as long as you let us know in advance, I'm going to be late, I'm away for that week. I'll double up the following week. As long as we know, that's fine. Okay, please do let us know because if we don't hear from you, we don't know what's going on. So do let us know. And, even at break time and all that sort of stuff where we have a break built in, there is always time to catch up. And what you'll find with us is we are flexible. And look, we know the real world catches up with you from time to time. We know that, this is the real world. So just stay in contact with us. And is this the only way to do the course? Of course it isn't. Are there other options available? Of course there are. From an admin perspective, if we can keep it flowing, like this, then we can manage the exceptions. Whereas if we have, tests and assignments coming in all over the place, like I remember myself, I was a tutor on the course at one stage, and you'd be going through your short test twos and you'd be flying through them, otherwise, and then in the middle of it, there's one short test one, and you go, because I forget what was on that, and I don't even know the answer, so you're going, here, I have to go back to the drawing board myself. So
There's a question there from Roberto, just in terms of the exams being in person or online there, if you just want to answer that.
see, the students are great. Students are great. Jumping forward. Yes, Roberto, I will answer that. And look, I'll put your mind at rest straight away. They are online. Okay, so that is that. So we used to do in-person exams, and then COVID came, and we started doing them virtually. And you know what? It's just worked, and I think everybody's happier with that. So we maintained that. I will get to the exams in a minute. So keep going. So that is the notes and assignments that you're going to get every week. And then at the end, on the 12th of May. What we will do is we will send you a mock exam. So there's three ways of marking the course. One is the short tests that you'll get every week. Two is the assignments that you get two per module. And then, yes, Roberta, there is a written exam at the end. Now, the written exam is an open book exam. So you do it in the comfort of your own home, and that is that. And look, we're clever enough to know that you do have the notes with you, and that is fine. So the challenge to us then is to prepare a paper that will work for you. So that's fair enough. And what we'll do on the 12th of May is we will send you a mock exam for both subjects. And that will just show you how the paper is going to look, how the questions are going to be laid out, and all that kind of good stuff. So again, we work on the principle of no surprises. So on that basis, you will get a mock exam for collections, and you will get a mock exam for law or international, whichever one you were doing. Um, yeah, maybe I jump ahead anyway. In terms of the mock exams, um, yeah. So both for yes, I think both for law and for collections, how the exam works is we have a specific time on a specific date where the exams happen. I will email you the papers. For collections and internet and law, the first part of the paper is multiple choice questions. So we will give you 50 questions and you have 1 hour to answer those and send them back. Now, look, there'll be a revision session. We'll go through the ins and outs of it. So that is that. So, and then when you send back your multiple choice questions, then you get what we call our long questions. So there's two questions, handwritten questions that you have to do on various aspects of the course. And like there'll be lots of questions where you choose to. So, it's doable as long as you stick with it. If you let your notes pile up and open them on the 12th of May to read through them, that's where people get into trouble. People think they know everything. If you stick with the course, that's fair enough. So I have dates that you can stick in your diary when you return the short tests, which is a week after you get them. And these are the dates for the assignments. So just to lay it out that we can put it in the diary as well. These are further dates for the diary as well. So you get your mock exam on the 12th. You have a week then to sit down and you do the mock exam yourself in your own time, create a kind of a exam you know, work for yourself and do them. And then what we'll do is this is another Saturday, the 17th of May. We'll all get back together again. So we're together on a Zoom call today, and we'll be together on a Zoom call on the 17th of May. And at that stage, we will go through the mock exam papers. So you don't submit the mock exam papers, you just do them yourself and you have your answers beside you. And on the revision day, we'll go through the correct answers for each question and answer any questions you have in terms of how it should be answered and what a perfect answer is. And we just hope that's a better learning curve. And then the exams themselves will take place on the 24th of May. That's a Saturday as well. So between 10 and 12, you get your International Credit Management or Law exam, and then take a break from 12 to 1. And then at 1 o'clock, you will get your collections exam. Now we'll send them about 10 minutes early just to give you a chance to read over them. And then you have to submit them by the deadline. So it is all doable. And then we'll get the results out to you within a couple of weeks. For those of you who are just starting, where today is your first day, the second term begins on the 20th of September with revision on the 17th of January and exams on the 24th of January 2026. Seems like a long way away, but it's not. I guarantee you it'll be pretty quick. So that is the dates for Derry. So maybe just slot them in. That's that. I've explained to you how it works in terms of the notes. Yeah, we put in that you should have your notes by 5 o'clock on Monday. If we get a spelling wrong on an email address, so if you haven't got it, contact Katrina straight away, and we'll just make sure that we have everything right. That's that. In terms of I'll flick through this. There's the contact details. So you do have phone numbers and email addresses for your tutors as well. So that's where you can contact them. Um, that's that. Whatever you're looking for, we are here to help. And guys, the other thing where help might be useful as well. If you're looking at systems, or if you're looking at employing a legal firm or a collection agency, or looking for information or information providers or whatever, the one thing that I have managed to do is to remain independent. So I'm not here to sell anybody's services. I do know the good ones from the bad ones, and I have a fair idea of who's doing what out there. So I can give you introductions. So if you say, look, I'm looking for a really good legal firm, I can give you three or four names and numbers and say, look, I was talking to Declan, he asked me to give you a ring. And it just opens the door for you as well. And if I do give you a recommendation for any company or any service, whether you go ahead or not is no, I don't care one way or the other. I'm just here to help you, and I'm not here selling anybody's services. Just that you're aware of that. So in terms of the overall marks, you will receive, so there's 10% going for each of the short tests and 10% each for the assignments. So you can get, if you get all your short tests right, that's 10% of the overall exam. All your assignments right, that's 20% of the exam. And then the exam itself, the written exam, is 70%. Now, the thing about it is you do have to you have to pass the exam. So you can't get 30% in the short test and assignments and fail the exam. So you do need to get 28 out of 70 in the exam. If you stick with it and do what we tell you, that is a given. So that is that. And look, no matter what happens, one of the things I teach in credit control and collections in particular is that no matter what the problem is, there is a solution. And just I want to put your mind at rest, and the same applies to the course. So look, if something happens, oh, I'm away on the 25th of May, fine, we will come to other arrangements with you. So we're here with you, working with you. The other thing, and I know I'm eating into your time, Katrina, but anyway, I'll you just have to speak faster on the collection side. The other thing as well is in terms of recognition. So from an international perspective, there's an organization out there called AICDP, which is the Association of International Credit Directors and Professionals. And they are a global organization. You can see some of the countries that they operate in here. And they acknowledge and recognize the diploma as well. The good news is you can also sign up as a member of AICDP for free. So there is no charge for that. So what I will do is, as part of the email I'll send you later this afternoon, I will send you, the link to the recordings, I will send you the slides, and I will also send you a link to join AICDP. And you just put in your details and you're a member, and they'll keep you up to date with what's happening in the world internationally as well. They run webinars, seminars, events, and all that kind of good stuff. And just to be in the company of credit directors, I think is good as well. And there are quite a few of those, and more and more emerging. And thankfully, some of the people who have been through our diploma have gone on to become credit directors, which is always great. So that is AICDP. And on a national basis, there's the Institute of Credit Management, which is the CMII is the Credit Management Institute of Ireland. So they are the Irish Institute for Credit Management. And again, you can become a member of the institute. And again, it's not going to cost you any more. And they organize the briefings on what's happening in credit nationwide and all that kind of stuff. And it's good to have a network and a support with people. So that's that. So I will send you a link to join CMII as well. And then when you've finished your diploma, you will get a diploma. If you've joined both organizations, you will get a diploma from AICDP and a diploma from CMII. So it's internationally recognized. And I know if you do pay, particularly CMII, if you pay them a small fee, I don't know, it's only a few bob, you can have letters after your name and all that sort of stuff if that means anything to you. That's that. In terms of marking structure overall, 80% above is a distinction, 60 to 80 is a merit, and over 40 is a pass. Below 40 is a fail, and failure is not an option. All right, let's just do that here and now. And all I can say is if you do the short tests and you do the assignments and you turn up for the revision and sit the exam, that is not going to happen to you. All right. And if the whole thing goes pear-shaped, then we will make other arrangements for you. So I've gone 8 minutes over, for which I apologize. What I will do now is I will stop sharing, and I will also stop recording.